background. Oh no.
Working on that for a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, boy. Oh, I keep it on for ages. Hold up. Let me just. Kia ora, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the KIHL 2023 draft, where we're going to find out who of you are going to which teams and which of the bros you're going to play with or play against. So this is where it gets really, really interesting. So tonight we're going to give you, or I'm going to give you the format for this evening. Now we've got 5 franchises. Obviously each franchise will get a go from pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5, and so on and so forth. I think the big thing this year is who's going to be going at our first pick. I do know our general manager from that particular franchise. Ooh, he can come have a chat with me now actually. Come over here there, Lewis Dawson. So this is Lewis Dawson. Kia ora, bro. Nice to see you. And he is the general manager for the Soldiers franchise. Now mate, given the last 2 years, the Soldiers have had a real tough time.
Sure have.
They've finished at the bottom both times. What are we going to do about it?
Going to turn it around.
What sort of players, or what sort of aspects are you looking for? Defenders, forwards, goalies, what are you looking for at the moment?
I think I'm going to draft a well-balanced team, you know, like balance it up with some forwards, strong scorers, with some solid D.
Cool. Yeah. Alright, well that sounds very generic. We'll try and get more interesting commentary throughout the evening. Louis better than this. I'm just being mean to him. So what we're going to do now is we're going to set the clock at the 2-minute clock and, oh no, sorry, my apologies. We're going to go through interviews with the GMs before we start our draft evening. So, good night, Lewis Dawson.
Thanks, mate.
Now I'm going to call on Craig Young. Craig Young is the general manager for the newest of all of the franchises, the Falcons. Now there's sort of a Bay of a Plenty, you guys have got a bit of a Bay of Plenty feel going on about you guys, don't you, Craig?
Yeah, why do you say that?
Oh, you pretty much, to be honest. No, last year there was a little bit of, there was a couple of YE players in there.
Yes, there was.
So it did actually have a bit of a feel, you know, from the Bay of Plenty. Your B grade team, your second division team also had a whole bunch of Mustangs and YE players. So I was wondering, are you going to be looking in the same region or are you branching out this time?
It's a very interesting comment actually. Last year I generally sort of picked the players that I knew, the ones who I knew how they played, I knew the personalities, and I sort of thought they'd fit well with my franchise. This year I've sort of got to know the players a little bit more through both divisions, in Div 1 and Div 2, and I think I might sort of mix it up a little bit. I'm definitely hoping to hold on to some of my key players, but it's what happens with the draft, right? You never know what's going to happen.
I think what's really cool with Craig is exactly what you've just said, mate. I think observers felt the same looking at both teams last year. So we're all very interested to see what sort of direction you might head in this year. Any ideas of, do you need a goalie? Do you want some key defenders like a Calum Carr? What are we looking for? A pasta? A pasternak? What are we looking for? A forward? Is there anything in particular that you feel your guys need?
So my 4 protected players, I have got Ben Thompson and Dan Garrow, 2 very strong defensive players.
Love you 2 boys. I hope you're both watching and I hope you have the lager, and please post a comment, boys.
I'm sure they'll be listening. I've also got Taupo Jones as well, my goalie for last year. Had a bit of a season sort of cut short with an injury.
Yeah, poor Toddy had a knee injury that was quite ruthless, so yeah. We're all pleased to see him back this year.
So my first pick, I'm kind of looking for probably a goal scorer or a forward. Someone maybe with a bit of speed. I don't want to give too much away.
A finisher?
A finisher for sure. Someone who can score goals, but we won't name any names, but we'll see how it pans out.
Mate, we've still got the draft to come, bro, so... Alright, well, thank you for talking to me, mate. And we're going to move on. We're going to move on to Arden Phillips. Now, this is one of my dear, dear friends, since we were children. So we've been up to all sorts of mischief. Kia ora. This man is the general manager for the Royals franchise. So, mate, what is the plan? Do you have anything sort of... Because I know you're a type of guy that, you know, wheels and deals behind the background. What's going on with your franchise this year, bro?
Hey, look, we were lucky enough to pick up a goalie last year's MVG.
Yes, so these guys saved Edwin Kiros, and Edwin has proved himself to be the elite keeper of the KIHL at this point. So it's a pretty big coup d'etat, I must say, mate. So now that you've got your keeper locked in, what's your defence looking like?
Yep, well that's basically where we're looking at in the draft. We're looking for big guys to now defend him.
Oh shit, I should have started with the attackers. My apologies.
Yeah, look, we've got young Troy Borthwick, we've got Jason McMahon, and we've got James O'Donnell. So look, we've got a lot of firepower, we just got to build from the back.
Yeah, you've got some heavy firepower, and let me just say, was it Jason McMahon? See you out on the floor there, but
Cheers, boy.
thank you very much. So, next general manager we're going to have a quick chat with is a gentleman just falling over with laughter behind the camera, and I'm just trying to get him to settle himself down. And that's old Dino. Now, Dean! Professional outfit, huh? Alright, come over here, Dean. Have a lager with me, mate. Have a lager with me. Got it. So this man is the general manager for the Dolphins. Predominantly their home has been considered New Plymouth. Given you, Sam Beardman, and that's the list I'd like to finish at, because that's a deep list. I would have just those two players. However, you've got Stephen Adams, one of the king dongs of Australasian inline hockey. This guy's he's one of our quarters. What are you going... Oh, and then we've got McBlaster. Bro, talk about a cheat code OP. Way OP. Not fair. What are you going to do to build on the success you've had for the last 2 years? Like, we're all coming for you. I'll tell you that right now. What are you going to do?
Well, look, first off, I'm going to try and shore up our D to start with. We've got Michael Watts that we decided to keep after being MVP in the playoffs.
Watts, he scored the game-winning goal on my ass last year. Watts, he? It still hurts, cuz, but fair enough.
And we've got Josh, who you know, KIHL leading point scorer at the moment.
Yeah.
So at the moment we've got our forwards shored up, and then on the back end we've got Adams and Bearden.
Yeah, that's pretty hard to beat, dude.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and add to that with our D core, and try and shore that up first, and then probably build at the end of the draft with some younger guys and some complementary players to fit those roles.
Yeah, cool. So you're looking for guys that can fit with those leaders.
Yeah, that's right.
But you don't want the leaders just to be pulling weight, right?
No, absolutely not. Maybe some guys that can complement those players, and then just fill some roles that we need that can help us be successful again.
So inherently, they're going for a three-peat. The Dolphins this year are going for a three-peat. When you get over 2 championships, you're starting to talk dynasty territory. So the rest of us are really, really working on making sure that doesn't happen. He, on the other hand, really wants it to happen. Fair enough. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Lovely chatting. All right, well, I'm going to wipe my face. So in the meantime, I'll just use my phone. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about 30 seconds away from the draft. All of the GMs that you've just seen have a chat to, all of these gentlemen have to go away now, go to the big table, sit around it, converse, chat, natter, deal make, and see who ends up with the best team for the end of the year's championship. Now I'll tell you what, I'm back in the draft and I have no idea where I am. The excitement is brimming, and I hope everyone at home who has a beer, has some kai, feels the exact same way as I do. I think at this point I'm just going to look off camera because it's very unprofessional and just see where we were. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the KIHL 2023 draft. Oh! I hope we all heard that sound. That's the sound you guys are going to hear each time a new pick comes in. So I'm going to have the chance to, well, basically stop talking and tell you who the hell's in what team. Talking to camera like this is always really awkward and really difficult if you don't do it for a job. So be it. I talk to most of you guys when we hang out at the rink anyway. However, what we're going to be doing this evening is making sure that everyone has a place to play this year. I loved every minute of the last 2 years, enough to have spoken to half a dozen Aucklanders. And that half a dozen Aucklanders turned into a dozen registered Aucklanders. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you keep telling people and telling all your family and friends to sign up next year. Now, we're about to start the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, that's out first! Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, join me at the board for our first pick here of 2023. Jan Tudia! He's off to the Soldiers. Very valuable pick. This man is perhaps one of the best players in the country at the moment. He spent last year in Spain playing with proper professionals in a professional league. And I think what's so interesting about Jan's story is he's influencing so many of the young men and young women that I get the pleasure to chat to at hockey tournaments all throughout the country. This kid is the prototype. He's fantastic. So for the Soldiers to have got this young man, that's game-changing for their entire franchise. It was like Steven Adams for the Dolphins. It potentially could secure them a roster that could win them championships. Jan Tudia is perhaps one of the best players in the country. So this is a massive, massive coup for the Soldiers. They needed it. I'm going to have to talk a little bit further, a bit more about Jan. Now, Jan's from the, what is it? No, Wellington Penguins. Oh, shit. Jan's from the Capital Penguins from Wellington. He's been mentored by perhaps one of our greatest players ever in Louis Taupo. Now, I dropped that name with the intention that Lewis will be signing up next year. Now, I hope that's the case. Jan, I'll expect that $50. Round two, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this pick belongs to the Royals. That's Arden's. Walk over here with me. This is another fantastic pick. I'm a little bit dark, simply because I want Braden, and I want Braden all the time. This is a massive pick also. This kid can finish. He will score goals, and he will make sure that any team having to defend him are going to have to at least put 1.5 players on him. He will score if you don't. So, Braden's come from the Hamilton Devils. However, in a slight coup d'etat, he's come to the Stingrays! Now, the Panthers finally took a championship off the Penguins last year, and we will do the same with Braden. However, with the Royals and the KIHL having this sort of firepower, will he equal the McMaster Blaster from the Dolphins? Only time will tell. Now, as we look throughout the rest of the evening, we've sort of got to keep in mind, when you pick one player, will the next person you pick be useful? We've got our next pick. Follow me. The Falcons will be the next pick. And this is what happens if you don't protect a gem. He gets snapped up. Last year, JJ Merlo was at the Dolphins, perhaps one of the most consistent players for their franchise. And this guy, I think he had the most assists throughout the regular season and perhaps the playoffs also. this kid's quite phenomenal. His older brother is currently playing gridiron for a team in, was it Papatoetoe? Papakura. Adam, what is the team's name? The Papakura Giants. We just want to say tēnā koutou to the Papakura Giants there. However, JJ Merlot has been a trouble for every single keeper for the last 3 years. Since he's developed his man strength, this kid's wrister is just core blimey. So, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do, JJ? Do we just smash you because you're too good? Might be easier for the rest of us. So, as we wait for our next pick, let's have a... Actually, where was JJ? JJ was at the Devils. You're going to hear a few Devil names, and I just want to... Just a quick shout out. Make sure the Devils have a Prem team next year. You guys are one of the premier clubs in this country. Thank you. Back to the Falcons. What will they do with JJ? Dan Garrow. I mean, cool, blimey, you guys got a pretty cool team, Craig. I'm sorry, I'm talking off camera here because Craig's right behind the camera and he's smiling quite large, and I would be too. Now, this next pick's just come in and I've seen it before you get a chance to, and oh, this fellow is one of the korors of our sport, one of the grandfathers. Sean Craig is the archetype. Many, many young men over the last 20 years have modelled their type of game after this particular gentleman. I look at players like, is it Shane McLean? Shane McLean looks like a younger version, just more bogan, of this man, Sean Craig. Sean Craig is perhaps one of the oldest, highest skilled players. Now, he started the Stingrays many, many years ago, and now he's returned to the Stingrays. However, Sting is the key word here. Perhaps he wears Ray-Bans when he plays for the Sting. Who knows? My man Sean Craig, I can't say how happy I am for that guy to be at that franchise. Now, I'm saying that like I'm supposed to be at the Sting, like I have been the last 2 years. I'm on the chopping board, so I don't know. So am I happy that my mate's gone to a team I might not go to? Yeah, I am. So we're still waiting on the next pick to come through. It seems to be taking some time. I can hear the old boys upstairs. And now, just so you know, Joe is in Japan. So it's making our draft discussions really interesting. In fact, I think it was at a McDonald's in Japan. Now, I know that's not that interesting, but so be it. I need to be able to fill up talking time, you see. So, for pick number 5. Bloody hell, I just love this game. So, the next pick will belong to the Dolphins. Who will they pick? The Dolphins have obviously had the best picks that they could have got over the last 2 years. They are going for a 3-peat. That's going to make it easier for them. Bloody Ant Taylor. How much more firepower do you fellas need? Is this necessary? Well, yes it is. GM Dean thinks he needs all of the firepower he can get, and Ant Taylor is a returning vet with high skill, high praise. Oh, I prefer not to face a shot, but hey. Now this old koro, well, he's not really an old koro, he's a young koro, you know, just like Arden's a young koro. Ant Taylor has been in the game for no less than 20 years. So that sort of experience for the younger guys that Dean was talking about using and developing, this sort of bloke is the type of guy you want talking to your young men. Women also, apologies. Oh, no, I think that was a fake ding dong. What we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm going to jump off cam for just a second. We're going to sit on the KIHL banner for just a moment. our next pick, ladies and gentlemen, will be the Soldiers. So let's just wait here while the GMs discuss their choices. Wheel and deal. There was a bit of fighting before. Now I'm back to camera, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get you to pick number 6. This is for the Soldiers. Christ, they are going from strength to strength. Follow me over to the board, ladies and gentlemen. Another one of my Stingray whānau. It hurts to see my best players going to other people. Dane Hill, ladies and gentlemen, and pick number 6 for 2023. Now this man here is, again, one of the old stays with 2 younger brothers that have developed into some of the pinnacle players of our sport in this country. He is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen. This is a perfect older brother. He taught his younger brothers how to play this game. He strengthened them, and they didn't have an awkward or awful attitude towards each other. Wonderful family culture. I'm so proud of these guys. And to see Dane Hill in the KIHL this year, 2023, makes me really happy. And in fact, this is a hello to Kelsey and Cooper Hill, dude's like an ox, under 10 ox. Cooper Hill is an ox. Sorry, I had to wipe my face there, get a bit sweaty wearing this. In fact, I might just open that up now. You might be able to see my wonderful shorts. Now, excuse me, we didn't get a makeup girl, so I'm going hard. Should have got a makeup girl, boys. Oh, right. Where's Arden when you need him? Alright, back to the business at hand. Oh, here we go. Alright, we're going to go back to the board for the Royals pick. Number 7. Let's see who they've taken this year. In fact, that's cheeky. Ricky Elston was one of their best players last year, and for some reason they've been able to get him back. That to me is perhaps one of the easiest picks to have ever made. Ricky Elston, I don't know if you guys know, but in my age group, his older brother, Brent Elston. Ricky is definitely the better hockey player. Sorry, Brent, my bad. Love you, bruh. No, I'm just being cheeky. Ricky's an incredible player. He's got to work on his, what is the word for long-term energy? We call it stamina. Ricky, get the missus stamina, please. You're a guy that can finish another franchise's dream, so come on, man. Make it to the end of the game. So the Royals now, out of the 2 picks, have Braden and Ricky. Yeah, I'd be pretty happy about that right now if I was them. So, anyway. What will we do next? Now, who's the next pick, please, next franchise, gentlemen? It is the Falcons. And what number is that, gentlemen? We will be having the 8th pick of the draft in just a moment. So we're just waiting for that ding to come through. So currently the boys are all upstairs, all around a big table, nutting about, trying to talk to Joe in Japan. And at this point, we're trying to find out who the next Falcons pick will be. Still waiting. This is the awkward wait. This is the awkward wait that we always have. Yeah, so good. Ha. Join me. Let's go. Another Stingray! Oh, that's my best friend Brandon Johnson. This guy's a goal scorer. Oh, why do the Falcons? Now the Falcons will be very pleased to have taken Brandon Johnson. In my regular season, he's one of my most consistent goal scorers. He also stops people from scoring. that extra hustle that the Falcons are going to get from having Brandon will at least allow them so this is a guy you put on the penalty kill. He just will never stop. And if you want a goal, you put him on the power play because he will stand in front of the goal and take shots all day long. So this is a really, really strong pick for the Falcons. Now, I've heard rumours that amongst the GMs there was an attempt to break up the stingrayness that might have been directed into one particular team, and I feel that this is happening. Shit. I was only allowed to say one swear word today. My partner, beautiful Veronica, said you get one swear word, and it is the S one. And I've now used it for pick number 9 by the Sting. I'm going home, baby! I'm going home, baby! I'm going home, baby! This is going to be a very short discussion. I think it's self-explanatory. Yes! Yes, from Craig! Yes! Alright, these guys wouldn't tell me where I got drafted, so I had to sit outside the house like a lonely little muppet. I'm going home! I'm going home! Hoo, hoo, Cameron Mitchell, I will see you on the ring. Excuse me, let me just compose myself. I just heard a dean saying, see you in the finals, Maya. Oh, presumption. He's trying to predict another repeat of last year's final. Oh, crikey. I think Craig, Arden, and who's our final GM there? Oh, Lewis will not agree with that whole discussion. Yeah, I'm going home. Alright, we're going back to the board for pick number 10, and that belongs to the Dolphins. Now you might have noticed the Dolphins have had 3 picks already. This is the... Oh, no, he's saying 2. Apologies, there've only been 2. Let's go over here. This man is KIHL's international flyer. This guy's flying in just like Stephen Adams from Australia, right? I had Lovell in the first year. I love Lovell. I love Lovell. So, Nathan, I'm so glad you signed up again, mate. You're here again. Nathan Lovell is perhaps one of those key figures that were at the Falcons last year. And he's a Mustang, isn't he? So I think that was part of why I asked Craig, last year, why he had such a Bay of Plenty centric group. This was one of the stronger picks. So for the Soldiers to have solidified their blue line, inline hockey, ice, defender, and have someone so strong that you can't just walk through him, he will move you. I think that's the way that the Soldiers have needed to solidify their roster. Jill, there's another bing bong, please. The boys upstairs have sent us, yep, let's go. Oh dear. I think this is what's needed to happen at this franchise. This young man here, Caleb Rock, is the best goalkeeper in this country. Hands down. So any of you young goalies out there watching me talk about him right now, I would like you to take note when his games are being played for whatever team he's playing for. If you want to learn about proper technique, Caleb Rock is an incredible choice and selection for the Soldiers. If they wanted to solidify their backline, that was a way to do it. This guy's going to give you the chance. When the opposition get a breakaway, he's going to stop it and give you a chance to have a quick turnaround. That's the sort of keeper he is. So he's worth trouble for any opposition. Caleb, mate, congratulations on deciding on law and getting into law. I have 3 lawyers in my family, and they are all wankers, but wonderfully spoken wankers. I hope you heard that. That's the ding. We're going back to the ball. Oh, the Dolphins cheating again. More cheating. This kid if he's not the captain or one of the captains of a senior New Zealand men's team in the future, I would be very surprised. More cheating by Dean. That's the key part though. That's the key part of this trade. The Royals gave up Edwin Kilos, one of the strongest pieces of your team. Oh, talk to me loud from behind the camera. I want to hear it. We're going to get some juicies. Wait.
Two-time champion.
Two-time champion Edwin Kilos, all-star keeper who played, what were they called, next level last year in the Anzac Test. Now just keep in mind, our sport had an Anzac Test. That's so fucking cool. You'll notice I didn't say that first word. Alright, we're going to the board now, because I can hear them. Ha 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 ha, yep. Our GMs are very loud. This man, just like Sean Craig, myself, and a whole bunch of other old people, this is a legend right here, whānau. Todd Cook is one of the originals. His parents started the Tauranga Mighty Ducks. They were only the Mighty Ducks for, I think a year or two. But we actually had a Mighty Ducks team in this country, right? So, and yes, it did start with the films. However, I remember going to that rink, and it was perhaps the most fun time as a 12-year-old. So I have very fond memories of the Cooks. So that's not a bad pick. This guy is perhaps one of the best players in the Waihi Miners. He's one of the reasons why they score some fucking goals. This man scores. Oh, that's my second swear word. Sorry. We'll keep it to that. I think what we might do now, ladies and gentlemen, is we'll go to the KIHL banner. The 14th pick will be announced in 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Now, just if you haven't noticed, I would like the cameraman to pan down. Look at that. Aye. That's what happens when you get wonderful hosts. Sorry to my Asian brethren, but you guys do the slipper game like just hands down. My man. Alright. So our next pick, ladies and gentlemen, will be the 14th pick that goes to the Sting. Let's go. Nah! This team's getting older and older by the minute. I think with picks 9 and 14, we have an average age of 72. Scheiße. That wasn't a swear word, that was German. For something. Nicholas, welcome home, brother. We're home, homie. We're home. Nick Tom is and has been one of the premier coaches for age grade over the last, I'd say decade. Him and Matty Chan have been responsible for fostering many of the young talent that you might see coming through the draft tonight. Your Bothwicks, I'd like to say your Freed Losses, your this and that. Sorry, my eye was caught by a beer being presented to me, and yes, it did catch my eye. Fantastic. Alright, so we're just waiting on our GMs, ladies and gentlemen. Now, it gets a bit hot here, so I think what we might do is I'll look off camera briefly to get ideas about what to talk to. Oh, so the draft has been presented to you guys by KIHL here in the lovely Taupo region. We're here just on the side of the lake. It's the evening, so we've decided against using the water as a background, which is fair enough. However, I remember, I think it was 2004 maybe, we had a national tournament here in Taupo at their large facility. We're going to the board. Mr. Corey Sweeney is going to the Dolphins, ladies and gentlemen, with pick 15. More of Dean's handiwork, I imagine. Now, all of these GMs are trying to, work out who the best players to put into their rosters, but which players are going to work well with others. So you need guys like Sweeney who are able to receive passes, instant shots. We just want basic skills performed well. That's how you get goals. That's how you win goals. Games, sorry. I'm going to have a sip. Hey Max, you know where to sponsor. We're going to be going to the board now for the Soldiers' next pick. At pick number 16, Mr. Joel Ashworth. We've got from one of the GMs, no, we've got from Gary Bettman, a massive applause. So forgive me, Joel, I'm not familiar with you, mate, so I'll make the time this year to meet you, so I've got nonsense to talk about you next year. But having Gary Bettman over there, the Lord of the Rink, if you will, I give you a bit of a high praise behind the camera. That's got to be a good sign for the Soldiers. Now, can someone tell me who this young man is? Where does he play, gentlemen? He doesn't currently. So he's gone in Division 1. There we go. He's a Lightning player. From Whanganui, where we recently had our nationals. Fantastic, by the way. Thank you to the Whanganui Lightning for hosting that particular part of our hockey experience. However, we're moving forward and we want some more KIHL action. We're going to find the next pick. Any moment now I can hear bickering at the top. Bickering. I can hear someone being told off. That means we're going to hear a ding. We're moving. Oh, wow. So just because the Royals also needed their age average lowered by a legend, raised the level for Devon Kay. Man, this guy's an old school legend. In the under-21s when he played as a kid, he completely ruined by himself, him and John Thompson, gentleman named John Thompson, these two guys ruined the senior men's team by themselves. They were brutal. So, for the Royals to acquire this guy, who had also, Dev had also been playing semi-professional, if not, forgive me Dev, professional golf at one stage. Someone might have to correct me. But that's a legend, as far as I'm concerned. And we've all watched Happy Gilmore, so we all get it. Golf and hockey go together. So, Devon Kay, welcome to the KIHL, bruv. It's pretty cool to have you back at proper hockey, mate. Really enjoyable. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to focus on KIHL. I'm going to have a break. Have a beer. And I'll be back in 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, with our next pick. Ooh, who will it be? The Falcons will next be picking at position 18. Alright, kia ora ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back. Apparently I'm someone's spirit animal, which is perhaps the greatest compliment I've ever received in my life. Big so-and-so, not even close. Spirit animal. Woo. Beautiful. Right. We're going to go to the board for the Falcons pick at number 18. Hui! This kid is a teacher. Johnny Andrews Knight is perhaps one of the most beautiful men I've ever met in my life. This guy is just a wonderful human being. We haven't even got to his hockey yet. I think he had started playing hockey about a decade ago, 12 years ago. He ended up playing a good four years of ice, 3 years perhaps, while he was in Auckland doing his training to become a teacher. Now I have a soft spot for teachers because it's a selfless job, and most of you people want to take your children somewhere else for some other man to look after them. So when you see people like Johnny Andrew Knight, say thank you to him. Because the guy's a gem. So I'm just going to look off camera for a second. Oh yeah, now today we all arrived at Taupo and we met at the famous hole-in-one. I think most people know the hole-in-one in Taupo. Now what we're going to do is, if any one of our KIHL players hit a hole-in-one, and I'm afraid you're going to have some video, mate. That's just the simple fact of it. We'll give you a shirt, we'll give you a hat, we'll give you a bottle, and I might even give you a rub down. That's the special prize. Alright, but Taupo's been fantastic to us today. It's really hot down there, so actually, is it as hot in your part of the country? If it is, let us know. Jump onto one of our social medias, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, leave a comment, talk to us. We're live now. I can respond back to you guys. Let's go back to the board for pick number 19 with the Sting. This kid, last year, was one of Arden's for the Knights. One of his superpowers. Hugo Roy destroyed. He had so much points last year, it was foolish. I think with Hugo, coming from New Plymouth, with that really strong core of young men at that age, you know, led by players like Josh Kingy. Can someone else mention Scott, Caleb Scott. Ooh-wee, that kid's something else. However, when you get a Hugo Roy in your franchise, you end up being able to plan around him for years. So I think that's perhaps the sort of big thing here. Now, I'm so very pleased to be having Hugo Roy. Yeah, go the Sting, go the Sting. Go the Swarm, go the Swarm. Sting Swarm, Sting Swarm. Spirit animal. Oh. So at this point, the mountains have gone down. We've seen a clear, lovely day here in Taupo. And our intention was to make sure you guys had fun night on a Saturday night, because I do know most of you were at Christmas parties throughout this week, or if not, have more this coming week. So I expected most of you to be at home this Saturday, hanging out with your children, watching my brown posterior. Now we're just waiting. I'm going to yell out to the GMs. You guys all right up there?
Gerbo!
You guys all right? Got a whole bunch of ninnies up there. Yes. Nothing like a bit of encouragement just to get the princesses going. All right, pick number 20 belongs to the Dolphins, and it goes to Maxi Toa. Another one of these epic young kids coming out of New Plymouth. Quite remarkable. New Plymouth Boys High School is, in my opinion, one of the best schools for sporting in all of this country. They produce fantastic field hockey players, inline hockey players. Their rugby team is phenomenal. Their footballers are phenomenal. So this school produces kids like Max Tor, who will go to the Dolphins. Now I must say, the nationals that were held in Taupo were in fact won by, well, I would like to say me, but I was a second goalie, so that doesn't count. The Red Hawks, the mighty, mighty Glenfield Red Hawks. And that was pretty awesome, because I think we ended up playing, I think Craig Young's team in the finals. Were you a devil at that point there?
No.
Sabre.
Sabres.
It was the Sabres versus the Red Hawks here in Taupo, and I believe, 2004 maybe? That's a long time ago. So for many of you guys that weren't born yet, that's how epic we are. So don't argue with me on the floor. I'll know how to spank you like your father does. Sorry, I've got GMs falling over on the floor, which is always good fun. So, again, we're going to go to the board now for pick number 21 by the Soldiers. This one hurts a little, because this is my baby boy. I love this young man, and he is going to make the defensive blue line for the Soldiers that much more stable, with the ability to make out passes just quick smart. This is one of our Kale McCars, our Jack Hughes. You know, those defenders that do all of the work there. Their wonderful skill is what allows them to be able to make such easy breakouts. This kid, I wanted this kid so bad. That's how good Cole is. Alright, I'm going to go back here. The Freeloss family, part of the Vipers group up in Auckland. So you've got a whole bunch of families that you might hear names, that they become familiar over time. I suggest that you get to know these people. These are wonderful families. These are wonderful people. The parents generally just give a poop about hockey. So if you needed help, people like the Freelosses, what's Bear's surname? The Eastwoods. So that's Scott, who also plays within the KIHL, his younger brothers. If you find families like this, make sure you talk to them. They will help you with your hockey journey. You don't have to do it alone. There are people that give a shit. That's my second swear word. I'm doing pretty good so far. No, what was the third? Oh, crikey, yes. No, I might have been proven wrong there. There's 4 people, I can't exactly argue it, can I? Alright, we're going to go back to the board at pick 22. Sorry, that one was a bit late. At pick 22 for the Royals. This guy is a unit. Jack Schuler is perhaps one of the biggest in terms of strength and speed when it comes to men's hockey. This guy's developed his game over the last 2 years with being in the KIHL. He was a bit of a monster without cause. Now he's a monster that scores goals. That's an impressive 2-year turnaround. So Jack Schuler to the Royals is a really good pick for them. He's massive and he can break through defensive lines. So we've heard a bit tonight that franchises are looking to shore up their blue line. That basically means they don't want people powering straight through. Jack Schuler's the type of guy that will just power straight on through. So that's a good selection, I think. And given the fact that he's, 6'3", 6'4", built like a brick, fourth word, no, a brick whare.
No.
and a large brick whare at that. Whare paku.
Funny paku.
See, a paku is little. We're going to move on to pick number 23, and that belongs to the Falcons. So that's Craig Young's franchise. Let's see. Ho! Theo Taylor! Theo Taylor! I can't say Theo. I love you, Theo, but Theo sounds pretty cool, bro. This kid was one of the real standout juniors of last year's KIHL season. I do recall playing him in the semis when one of my big boys bullied him. Mitchell just cross-checked his head. We all had a bit of a laugh, but he really did do it. And Mitchell pleads to this day that no, he didn't do it. Now, because Mitchell was my captain, I must say he didn't do it, despite me watching it. I watched him doing it, not doing it. Yeah, Mitchell, I love you so much, brother. So we're going to get to talking about the protected players once we get to pick 40, you see. 35. Sorry, that's pick 35. So during that transition when we're going from Div 1 to Div 2, I'll end up talking about the protected players for the Div 1 franchises. And that should then start to give you a better idea of what the whole squad will look like. Yeah. Here from Taupo. Taupo. Alright, hang on, before we move on, and I'm not listening to any dings. If you have a big toe and a cat's paw, you say toe paw. Towel and po, you ain't poing nothing up, and there ain't no towels to wipe yourself down. Right? It's your big toe and a cat's paw. Together we can do this. Love you. Alright, we're going to be moving back to the board, and I think I heard one of the GMs say my buddy's name. Now, if it's the case, let's go. So pick 24 belongs to the Sting. Ozzy! Oi, oi, oi. Alright. Oscar Hamilton's coming to the Sting at pick 24. This is one of my dearest friends. I've known Oscar since, I think we're about 11. We started playing ice hockey in Auckland for the Vikings. So I don't know if there are any ice hockey players that are familiar at the moment with Auckland hockey in the past. But me and Oscar started playing at the Vikings. We then went to the Cubs / Panthers. So I've known this gentleman for over 30 years. Yes, I could have had a child in that time. In fact, I could have had 2. Well, I have one I know about, put it that way. Look, rock and roll does these things. Sometimes you just have to go with the rock and roll, I'm afraid. So be it. You'll forgive me, God. Ladies and gents at home, I'm starting to have a bit of a good time on my own here. So we're going to go back to the board any moment now. We're just waiting on... You guys ready? No, they're not. That's okay. Thanks for being here in Taupo with us, with the KIHL. Yeah, there we go. Now we're going back to the board again for pick 25 for the Dolphins. For this incredibly successful KIHL franchise. 2 seasons, 2 victories. Here's trouble for the rest of us. Timothy McKay, our British compatriot, I'm not sure if he's got his New Zealand residency yet. Regardless of that, if you ever try and pass the puck in the air by this guy, he will steal it out of the air and he will make you pay for it. Tim McKay's one of the coolest stick handlers in this country. He does stuff with his stick that I think most of us just find really difficult to comprehend. His hand-eye coordination is, again, second to none. So for the Dolphins to have picked up Tim McKay, with the rest of the players that they have, they've started to shore up their blue line, with Nathan Lovell, Sweeney, even with, you could put Max Tor back there and feel quite comfortable that the decision-making coming out of there would be fine. And we've got a few new names this season, don't we? With, like I said, Tim's name, Sean, Oscar, Dane Hill. I know I've just named the Stingrays players, but when you're on the fly, sometimes it's hard to remember. So be it. But the fact that we've got new players here, 30% new players, that's pretty damn cool. So, welcome to all of you new 30% type players, and let's see what we can do, what sort of magic we can achieve. Alright, the Soldiers at 26 are going to take big boy Gary Bettman. Nathan Sargent, the head honcho of our league. These testes are prized. They make things happen behind the scenes, you see. So, any franchise that's going to have Nathan will have extra things happen. However, here's the cool thing. Nathan was the GM for this franchise for the last 2 years. So the fact that he's gone home himself, that's a cool thing. I can relate. I got to go home this year. Natey, you going home, baby?
Going home.
He's going home, baby. And to be honest, when you started 2 years ago with the franchise you started with, you have a bit of a soft spot for it. So, welcome. Go home, baby. Go home, baby. All right, we're just waiting on. I'm just going to look over camera. Oh, so both Nathan and Arden Phillips, these are two names of the gentlemen that run the KIHL. These are the head honchos. And over the last 2 years, they've had more and more workload just pile upon themselves as they want to produce a product for the people. That's awesome. Here's the cool thing. If you produce and make something cool, people will always pay for it. We're always willing to give you money if I get to have the time of my life. So these two gentlemen have decided to step away from the general manager game and focus solely on running the KIHL. So that's why I call Nathan Gary, because Mr. Bettman sucks. Gary, Gary, Gary. Oh, in the back of my chant, I think we've had a ding. And with the ding, we've got pick number 27, which is going to go to the Royals. Ho, 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 ho. Here's the other Brit flyer, Dicko. Sean Dickinson is a guy with a wrist shot that just hurts. Doesn't matter where it hits you, when it hits you. It's so damn fast, and the velocity behind it, it's going to kill you. So Dicko's another one of the Brits, just like, bear with Tim McKay. And these two boys, they're mates, you know, they're close. And it's not surprising that the quality of hockey that comes out of the two boys is similar, and it's full on, high intensity, and they expect results. They expect passes to go to sticks. They expect shots to go to goal. And look, they are both like I am, like Sean, Craig, Dane Hill. They're old. So when you're old, you have a very short fuse, and you just want things just to be done right. To be honest, having Sean Dickinson in that particular group will just mean there's a higher expectation on each event. I like it. I think that's a really good call. So we're going to, just bear with me, I'm just going to jump off camera for just a moment and wipe my face. Gilda. Oh, God. Water's for going to bed. Alright, before we do any more of the draft, this is a special thank you for both the last 2 seasons to our referees. We've had wonderful people take time out of their lives to come down and basically sometimes get yelled at. Now, these are the most wonderful people in our community. Their service is second to none. And this is a plea from me to you guys. I want to see you stop arguing with the referees. When you see a young referee in a game, I don't care if it's KIHL, NZIHA, when you see a young ref, this is to you older boys, keep your mouth shut. Otherwise, go and do it yourself. I do it, and I expect the same from you. If you're not going to do it, keep your mouth shut. That's the honourable way. Cool? Now we're going to see if our boys are ready. They beat me. Pick number 28. Dolphins. Cool, blimey, it's like I know everybody, eh? It's my best friend, Jericho. This is Parker, Marianne, love you fellas. It's my best friend. I don't know what else to say, I've sort of gone a bit gooey now. I had productive things to say for the rest of the players, and I just like to see my mate's name there. Aww. I've got 3 people talking to me. Let's do this. What did you say? Talk about the trade. What did you say? talk about the Falcons trade. Yes? What did you say? Let me guess, the trade? You? He talked about what are we doing for dinner.
Can you talk about the trade, Mark?
Okay, so, come back here please, come back here. Get up.
Oof, maroon.
This is a bit of a, we've got a trade. Alright, I've got to work this out so I can explain it to you myself. He's coming here, and the Falcons are getting Ben Thompson, because he was there last year. Now in fact, Ben Thompson, in our last game against the Falcons, scored the game tying goal against me, and then they beat me. Benny, stop beating me here. Jared Carroll. It's just what happens when you become my friend. Come on, become my friend, and I'll talk about you like this too. Anyway, we're moving. Yeah, I think with Jared there, see, that's another thing. Jared and Nathan Lovell are both at the Dolphins. These are proper defenders. Big boys, really fast, really strong. Oh, that's right. Ben was traded for a 28th pick, round pick. Now, I'm not sure what to say to you, the audience, about this, because I'm still working. What the hell were you all thinking? Sorry, my bad. I was just yelling at the GMs. Ben Thompson's worth a 2 pick. Never mind a 28. Get out of here. All right. We're going to go back to the board. Now we're going back to the board. Let's go. At 29, the Sting team roster. Yeah, boy. Cam de Boer got us so many goals last year, and they always came from the dirtiest spots. Just getting my camera crew just to get back onto the game then. Now, that's, you might have heard the name de Boer. There's 2 wonderful de Boers in our game, Matthew and Cameron. These guys are just fantastic. They both started at the Stingrays, right up in the north. Matthew played goal last year. Cameron played goal killer last year. Honestly, I think Cam was our second or third highest goal scorer. So he is hugely valuable to the Sting cause. And to get him back at such a cheap price, man, I kind of feel a bit lucky about that one. So, shot Cammy, we'll be doing missions again this year. Oh, well, we've got 114 people watching the YouTube stream live, which is pretty cool. Sorry, my face is so sweaty. We'll get a makeup girl next year. Alright, it's kind of fun having all of you guys here. Welcome. We're enjoying ourselves presenting this and bringing this draft to you guys, and most importantly, bringing the competition. For me personally, I've always found that there's been a hole in the 18s above and men's categories in this country. Now, this is no dig at anyone, but what I will say is with the NZIHA, you guys deal with age grade. Let the 18-year-old men and women and senior and prems play a little bit of proper hockey before we get to Nats. Yep, we're going back to the board. That's controversial, isn't it? Dolphins at number 30. Oh, my boy. Again, another one of my boys. Brookie Landon Potua. He's going to be going to the Dolphins. Now, where was Brookie last year? He was at 2 locations, the Falcons and the Soldiers. So, for Brookie to be wanted by the best franchise in the KIHL,
Debatable.
Can you guys let me do my job?
2 championships, bud.
Yeah. Trust me, I don't like saying it, but facts are facts. This is your top tier team, and they've taken this young man, and I think that having time with some of these players is just simply going to make Brookie just that much stronger. He's a big boy for a young kid, and he's got a lot of speed too. So once we start to see his man's strength pop in, I think we're going to get an interesting player there. And hey, Brookie, stop telling anyone about the bloody, you know. And if the rest of you want to know, you can ask, but then I can say no. It's a juicy story. It's definitely juicy. My cameraman's yelling at me, I know too. Anyway, we need to go back to the board now. I've got a ding, so let's go. At pick 31 for the Soldiers. Oh, my big fuzzy! Adam Foster is an absolute beast. I'm afraid at the end, by the end of the who is the Steam second? The Hornets season. Adam Foster had become clearly the pinnacle player of that group. So it's not surprising to see him being pulled up into Div 1. He's a big boy, he's got a killer of a shot, and he's not afraid to go into contact zones. So when you've got a guy like that, it means you're always going to be at the puck first. And that means you're always going to get a distribution first. So that's a useful player to have for the Soldiers. So the Soldiers are starting to fill themselves up and look pretty damn hot. Okay? Again, between the draft for Division 1 and Division 2, we're going to explain to you guys, we're going to let you guys know who all the protected players are. And that just gives you an indication of the full roster. It means you know who exactly is on that team from top to bottom, who the keepers are, all of the defenders, attackers, so on and so forth, coaches, and look, to be quite frank, I'm pretty excited to be playing half of these guys. Like, yeah, half of these people are my friends, and I love really beating the shit out of them. That's my third word. No, I'm on 3. You guys, the other 5 in the room are on 4. So clearly I'm right. Let's go to the raw board. The Royals for pick 32. This big boy is one of the special defenders that will be our mainstay in a decade. Caleb Scott is big, fast, and highly skilled. I'm so pleased to see him in a Div 1 team. Last year, I don't know if any of the parents watching have seen your kid go from lovely runner, Gumby teenager, limbs everywhere. I saw this kid like that. He has turned into a rock solid piece of man. And if you want to go through that kid, and he's a kid as a defender, good luck. So Caleb, congratulations mate. You really deserve being in Div 1 and playing with the Royals. I think you've got a pretty good opportunity to show your class. And if you want that team to be successful, mate, trust yourself, back yourself. I do. I think you're just fantastic, mate. You're a beautiful kid, beautiful player, wonderful young man. So yeah, bear with me. We're just going to find out whether or not oh, well, that makes it easy. I don't have to pretend to do something. Let's go back to the board. We're going to go to the Falcons at pick 33. Oh, bloody Blair. Blair's a nightmare for me. He keeps scoring goals all the time. So when you have guys that are always able to be at the goal and get the puck in the goal regardless. So I don't know if you guys watch NHL. You'll always see someone steadily in front of the goal and he will work and work. He will be bashed and he will stay there. Blair Smith is going to get you no less than 8 goals in a 10-game stretch. That guy is worth money. So good on you, Blair. Now Blair's based at, he's a Raven, so in New Plymouth. So good on you, Blair. Wonderful. Sorry, I've got my transitions a bit funny at the moment. So next round of KIHL, excellent. So the next round of the KIHL will be the 24th and 25th of February. Now this is going to be in Hamilton. Is that correct, gentlemen? Hamilton is our first round. Where is our first round of New Plymouth? Well, either way, New Plymouth, Hamilton, they feel like home to me. I will travel to either of those rinks to play hockey before I will go to my own rink. However, Glenfield is currently getting redone. It's going to be closed for 3 months. So that's a major renovation. We've just had a ding come through. The next pick's come on. So we're going to go to the board at 34. Sting are going to choose Harry Tappan. This boy is massive. He's from the Christchurch Lions. And in fact, I saw his Facebook profile come up, you know, people you might know, that sort of thing. And he was dapper. This young man is a dapper young man. Now, checking out his hockey ability, he's massive. He's strong, and he's played ice most of his time. I think that was his introduction into hockey. So if that is the case, he's going to be a hard bloke to go through. And he's got a whipper of a shot too. So let's see, right? I'm pretty happy to have him. Shot Harry, welcome from Christchurch, bruv. I'm not actually sure where the Sting are technically based. I think we're Wellington. Yeah. Wellington. Auckland! You guys in there? You still there? Alright, make sure you go grab a drink, go grab something to eat, and stay with us, please. Alright? Yes! I love when the ding comes in before I have to make something up to say. Let's go. At pick 35 for the Dolphins. Oh! Andrew Coogan's a goalie. Woo! Okay, so I spoke with Coogie before, a few months ago. I think he's one of the hot keepers for someone that hasn't played goalie at all. When you haven't played goalie for long, it's a hard thing to understand, to develop the skills, and in particular, the mental aspects of the game. Andrew Coogan, I kind of suggested to my GM that we should have him, then remembered I had my junior baby, and we were able to get him. Love you, Zachy. So, Coogie here is just, he's worth gold, mate. He'll be watching now. Good on you, Cougs. But, Andrew Coogan and your family, welcome to the KIHL. It's lovely to have you guys about. We've sort of lost half of our production crew somehow, and it still seems to be happening, so. I'm going to jump off camera for a couple of minutes, and then we'll see you back here soon, okay? 30. Oh, is there one more? No? Oh, we're at pick 35. That's the last for Div 1. Will we be coming back to camera? We'll be coming back to camera in about 4 or 5 minutes. So stay tuned. Go to the bathroom, go get a drink, have a chat, perhaps call someone, talk about the picks so far, talk about where you've come in the draft. Also, please get online and communicate with us at our socials. So our Facebook, our Insta, our YouTube. Leave comments and we'll talk back with you guys. Joyce, we'll see you soon. to this Royals. Now, where did he go from? Right, so I'll talk about him in a Kia ora whanau, we are live and we're back here. Ding! So what we're going to do now is we're going to go through the protected players list and then we're going to move into Div 2. Okay? So I'm going to pull out my phone just so we can have a look at the list, or players list, protected lists, you see, for our teams. Now, at the beginning, for the soldiers, they have protected one of my favourite players of this country, Callum Hawthorne. Now, just on a side note, I'll be doing podcasts throughout the year for the KIHL, and one of our big interviews is going to be with Callum, James O'Donnell and Jason McMahon about the scrap they had last year. And we're going to make it whimsical. We're going to laugh about it so as that it doesn't need to happen again. But boys will be boys, so be it. We'll go on to the next name, sorry. For the for the soldiers. Callum Hawthorne, Josh Gulliver, Dion McLean, mwah, and young Zion Hurst. Now, yes, Zion Hurst's father is one of my, he's one of my korors. He's one of my safe men that I speak to when I need help. So if anyone watching ever feels like they need to talk to anyone, you've got a whole bunch of really good men around our organisation, our industry, our group. So if you guys need to talk to anyone, I'm always here. Please feel free to get in touch. Okay, we'll move on next to the Royals. The protected players list. The 4 players for the Royals are Jason McMahon, Jason McMahon, James O'Donnell, OD Killer. This young man, beautiful young man, Troy Borthwick, and here's the killer, here's the clincher, the butt clincher, if you will. Edwin Kiros has been saved by the Royals. Now, not many teams have taken the chance to save a goalie, so the Royals see him as being an integral part of what they're doing. Now, next we're going to go to the Falcons. The Falcons start with their captain, Daniel Garrow. Ooh, Daniel Garrow, one of my favourite players to watch. Guy's got quick hands like you wouldn't believe. Next is Josh Kingy and Ben Thompson. So Josh Kingy, one of the superstars coming out of the high school I mentioned earlier, New Plymouth Boys High. Wonderful. Now Benny Thompson, wow, he got traded for like a 26th round pick. Between me and you guys, these GMs smoking something that shouldn't be. Ben Thompson's, he's under the 10, you know, first or second round. That's how good that guy is. All right, so we're moving on from the Falcons to the Stings protected list. Oh. I forgot the goalie for the Falcons. The returning veteran keeper, Todd Moore-Jones. Now his knees are better, aren't they, Todd? Either that or we're going to have to strap you up good and proper, mate. So the Falcons had secured Todd last year, but thought he was also an important part of their plans for this year. So they've protected him as well. Okay, we're going to move on now to my hometown, the Sting, and the incredibly risky strategy that was applied, but we got to save 4 players, and I got to go home. So we're going to start with my man Cameron Mitchell, probably the hardest one-timer slap shot in the country, without a doubt. Mitch Hurley, one of the big bully boys of the KIHL. This guy knows how to dominate the field. Shane McLean, like I've already talked lots about Shane, he's just beautiful. Oh, how's your thumb, mate? I'm only doing that because Shane literally had that much of his thumb chopped off last year. So it's a bit mean for him to go like that. Alright, and the final, our man from Wellington, Jackson Baker. Now we're going to move to the final team, of final names on the protected list for these teams, and it's the Dolphins. last year and the year prior's champions. They're going to be saving, which isn't a surprise. Stephen Adams, the international master class. Josh McMaster, the McMaster Blaster. This kid is literally the best we have to offer. He scores goals like it's no one's business. Next, bloody Watsy. Oh, the end of my season last year was looking at Watts score on me, and that was the end of the game. And the league. I owe you one, Watsy. Well played on that goal, bro. And the king de la creme of Ravens hockey, Sammy Beardman. I have no higher praise for Sam Beardman. If you want to organise a breakout from your own zone, that's the guy to do it. So that's our entire list here, protected list, sorry, for all 5 teams. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to start going through the Div 2 players. We'll do that in about a minute. We're still organising ourselves here, that's fine. I'll look at my phone like I'm reading something important and talk nonsense to you in the camera. So we're going to walk over here and we're going to start with the Stings 36th pick, the beginning of Div 2. Sammy, we've got work to do, young Samuel Bays. Samuel Bays from, well, where is he? The Waihi Miners. He is the premier goalie, so he's one of 6 premier keepers in the country. Worth it, right? And our next pick will then be, at 37, Paddy Watts. This is another keeper. So it's not surprising that the Div 2 teams are trying to solidify their keepers from the outset. Given that we only have 10 keepers throughout the entire competition this year, they are worth their weight in gold. Paddy Watts last year played for the Falcons. And in fact, he was the gentleman that told me where to get colour for pads. So, if any goalies or goalie parents are looking to spruce up your pads, go to, what was it, Paddy? No, it was something like a lighting store. Lighting Direct. Yeah, that was right, yeah. Something like that. So, if you want to find out, give me a message and I'll find out from Paddy. Moving on. 3 for 3, Zach Williams. Another fantastic keeper. This kid is my baby for the Rays. So I'm a bit gutted he's gone from the Hornets to the Tui, but hey, that's how it works. All of these keepers are going to get their opportunity to stamp their own mark and sort of, make themselves known. So we're moving on. 39 at the Marlins, we've got Kieran O'Donnell. This is what we call an OP selection, well overpowered, and I'm not sure if our general managers were quite aware of who this gentleman is. I am, and the Marlins have just scored their best player, so we're moving on. 40 will be, good old man, I hope you're watching. Say hello to that beautiful little girl of yours, eh? Maddie Chan, one of the legends of our sports, one of the coaches that have presided over many of the young men that are coming through at the moment. So any age group between sort of 15 to about 22. Matt Chan's probably coached them at New Zealand level at some stage. So that's a great call for the Knights. They'll be very lucky to have such experience. And again, he's got a shot that makes those young keepers a bit frightened. So we're going to move on to 41. Marty Nielsen. Marty, you'll forgive me, I haven't met you yet, so I don't have a bank of stories or nonsense to talk about you. However, I will make the effort to meet you this year, Marty, given that you're in the Hornets. And I hope for the best of you there, young man. Hopefully you are a young man. Could be talking to a 50-year-old. Alright, we're moving on. 42, TJ Drysdale. Now that sounds the name of a Melbourne Cup winning horse. And he's got the pedigree of a bloody horse. So where's TJ from, boys? Can someone tell me?
Raven.
I thought he was a Raven. Now he will be of the same class as Caleb Scott, I believe. And it's that sort of quality of player that the recruits have been fortunate enough to pick up. We're going to move on. Taylor Dines. My apologies, mate.
Mustang.
Now, I've just got word from big old Craig Young at the back. He's saying that Taylor is from the Mustangs. So it's wonderful to see that KIHL is getting to the Bay of Plenty and pulling more of those players from other clubs as opposed to just the Waihi Miners. So wonderful to have you on board, Taylor. And we're looking forward to see what you can bring to the KIHL this year. He's a goal scorer. Craig's saying you're a goal scorer. How old is this young man? Is he a baby? Is he under our age?
Mid-30s.
He's a baby. Mid-30s apparently. Young man. He's got lots to give. Alright, moving on. Ho ho! Okay, this kid is just more than happy to eat shots up. If he's on your defence, and if you're a goalie, you're more than happy for him to make decisions. Zach Bovey, apologies, Bovey? You guys, you white people got to get your R-E equals ooze sorted, man. Nah. There's no reason to change the A halfway through. Come on. Apologies, Zach. This is your time. So Zach Bovey, we had him in the Sting in the first year, and I thought he was just a fantastic defender, and he really made poor mistakes. So great choice there by the Marlins. Moving on. Oh ho! Miss Metcalf, you're going to the Knights, my dear. This is where you will be this year. Amber's with me at the Rays, so this is going to be interesting to see how she goes at the Knights. And to be quite frank, darling, you'll be one of the strengths. Play like it. We're moving on. All right, John Van Beek. God, if I've ever seen a name that should be on an NHL hockey card. John Van Beek. Van Beesbrook. Van Beek. There's a Van Beek, I'm sure, from the 90s Penguins. Don't quote me on that. Actually, y'all have the internet. Get on the net, find it, where the Van Beek player was. I think it might have been New Jersey, actually, when they had green in their outfit. Anyway, John, I know very little about John, but look, mate.
From the Devils.
Oh, yeah, John's from the Devils. Welcome, bruv. You've come to the right place. We do stinging. Moving on. This kid's fucking really cool. Not only is he a lovely young man, Josh McGinty, who's going to be going to the recruits. I'll tell you a quick story. Dane Hill, one of the older gentlemen in our sport, he made up a list of fake players, you see, and he used to tell people, oh yeah, I know this so-and-so is really good. In fact, he said Josh McGinty. Turns out Josh McGinty's a real human being who's actually really good at hockey. So Dane, here's your Josh McGinty, bruv. Moving on. This gentleman, last year, was the Royals goalkeeper. This is a 6'7", 6'8" goalkeeper. He's not. He's about 6'3", but really, does that make a difference to anyone that's under 6 foot? Matt DeBoer this year will not, in fact, he won't be in the goal. He's going to be playing out in the field. So be sure to see possibly a bit of confrontation between him and his brother. That would be quite nice, eh? A bit of brotherly love. However, congratulations also to you, Matt, for opening a new business there in Wellies. Oh, anyone in Wellington need their car serviced or worked on? We're going to be going to Matty DeBoer. Moving on. Oh, so he's not the club captain at the Rangers, but core blimey is this guy the definition of a Kapiti Ranger. So Chris Sands and his brother, these guys are the sort of the linchpin for the Rangers. So that club's real damn lucky to have these boys working on them. And it was nice to see you guys at the NHL game. You guys and your partners look very happy, so that was awesome. Cheers. Moving on. Oh, Adam Carter. This boy's a big boy, and he don't mess around. Honestly, there is nothing prettier than watching a prop fucking steamroll down the field and then do pretties at the end. Adam Carter, despite that wonderful frame, forgive me, sir, you've got some delicate hands, bruh. Whack. Moving on. Oh, my old friend Mark KIHL. I think we played hockey together in 2002. So for many of you that weren't born yet, that's my man's right there. He's going to be coming to the Hornets, to my franchise, and we're stoked as to have him. Moving on. Now I've already mentioned his older brother. Ethan is equally as strong as his brother Jack. These boys are ox. I'm not sure what their parents fed them when they were young, but I think it had a lot to do with grains, and more grains, because we have a bull here too. The other one's an ox, that's the bull. So the recruits will be happy to have someone strong enough to be able to get through those nasty zones. If he needs to sit in front of the goal and get some of those dirty goals, that's your guy. So recruits will be happy to pick up some lazy, nasty goals in front of their net. Good pick. Moving on. I'm sorry I can't be as delicate, as informative about you, Christo. Vorster?
Vipers, previously Vipers, now moved to Tauranga.
So what age?
Younger kids.
So he might have played with Cold Friedloss and that group of young men. Yes, at the moment the Vipers from Glenfield, they're under 18 and they're under 16 teams, hugely strong. They're going to have a premier side in about 2 to 3 years, and you're going to see some of those top players being some of the top picks here. So, yeah, we're interested in anything that comes out of the Vipers.
He's the guy to look out for.
Nice. So, we're hearing from the back of the room that Christo's going to be a problem. And it's always interesting to, as someone that knows a lot of hockey players and about their abilities, skills, to hear of a new gem, and especially from a trusted person, for me anyway, like Craig Young. I know the man, and he's going to say this guy's trouble. So let's see what happens with Christo. Good to have you on board, bro. Moving on. Yes, this little whippersnapper. Whoo! Probably one of the fastest kids in our competition. In fact, possibly the country. Ryan, younger brother of Zach Williams. Both of the Williams boys coming out of Waihi. We've got Sally and Glenn, their parents. I'm just saying hello to you guys. That's pretty much a bit of a name drop there. That's all that is. But Ryan Williams, last year, he made himself, he got a big target on his back. When you're scoring 3 points a game, people are going to focus on you. It's just the way it is. Tough being good, huh, bro? Moving on. David Schulzberger. Gee, that's another name that should be in the NHL too. Sulzberger? Well, that sounds very German, yeah. Salzburg. It's not French, mate.
You don't know that.
Well, I do, because the French don't use that combination of letters together. I do know that. Cool. All the knowledgeable people, out the back. Crikey dickens. David, I'm sorry again. I don't know too much about you, so I can't just freely talk about you, mate. So perhaps we'll meet each other this year and just carry on. But the Knights at 55, Sulzberger. Great name. Moving on. The Hornets this time, we're going to be taking Daryl Smith. Now, can someone tell me about Daryl Smith? Oh, Daryl! From the Whalers. No way. Brother. Shot, man. Okay, the simple fact that we've got Whalers coming up to play in the KIHL gives you an indication of how important, cool, not quite the right words, motivating, not quite right, perhaps, inspiring. Lots of people have been inspired to come and play this league because it's good hockey. You get cool pictures of yourself, you get proper stats, just the simple things done right make you feel good about yourself and make you feel good about what you're doing, with whom you're doing it with. We're going to be moving on from Daryl. Sorry. We've got a GM there wanting to say something about Daryl. No, we're moving on. Nice to see you here, Daryl. Hey? Alright. We mentioned Sands before, the other half of the important linchpin for the Rangers. Here's King Don. Forgive me for such an expression. Mike Sands is the president of the Rangers, and between him and his brother, I've just fallen in love again with the Kapiti Rangers. They used to be my greatest adversaries when I played for the Glenfield Black Hawks in 1996. Yes, quite some time ago. Anyway, the recruits will be very pleased to have such a capable player like Mike. Moving on. Alright, and here is our third international player, guys. Dills is going to be going to the Tuis. However, every time Dills goes to the Tuis, it will be from Melbourne. So him and his brother Nathan, and also Stephen Adams, having three guys coming from Australia, and I also had inquiries from another gentleman. So, you know, we're getting a bit of leeway into the Aussie market too. I mean, three's not many, but it represents, you know, a bit of a future here. So, Dylan, wonderful to have you here playing in Aotearoa, and also the Tuis will be stoked to have you as well. Moving on to pick 59. This man is the definition. Now the Marlins are based in New Plymouth. This man here is the definition of New Plymouth hockey. He is a selfless public servant, and he's quite a fine leader too. So I think the Marlins getting someone that can speak clearly and make objectives clear, like Toddy, it's not a bad option too. So there will be one of your leaders, I can assure you of that. Moving on. Alright, so I feel like, me personally, I'm not privy to the draft. As you can see, I'm literally standing in front of you while it occurs. This pick here is a cheat pick. Someone must have found the cheat code and installed it. Jasmine Horner-Pascoe is one of the best players in our country. She is fantastic. All of these other guys are going to benefit greatly from her involvement. There's just no doubting of that. Alright, we're moving on. Oh, sorry. End of live, players. Oh, so we're actually going to be ending at, is it 60 count? The rest of the picks will be available at on our social media, website, YouTube, Insta, Facebook, etc., etc. Just have a look over the next day or so. Oh, no, I've just been told by Gary. Yeah, we got to call you Gary. It's so cool. We've just been told by Gary that all the rest of the picks will be uploaded tonight, so you guys, by the end of the evening, will be able to secure and know which team you're going to be playing for. Now, it has been an absolute pleasure to have all of you guys involved and to have you here joining us in Taupo for this year's KIHL 2023 Player Draft.